Good evening. I'd like to call to order our April 9th, 2026 West Fargo Library Board meeting. We will first take roll call. Robin?
Here.
Tony? Here. Sarah?
Here.
Tyler? Here. Yeah, I got it right. I was blanking for a moment, but I got it. Okay, and I am here. We're all here. We are looking to approve the order of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the order of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good, motion passes. Order of agenda remains. Any public comment? I didn't see any.
Nope, I
Okay,
have no requests.
thank you. Next, we'll move to approve the consent agenda, which includes the approval of the minutes and the approval from March, and then the approval of financial reports as well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. Next, we are going to move on. There is no old business. We'll move on to new business. So our first one is to look at and approve the revised circulation policy, which is also posted. But Jenna, if you wanted to quickly, not quickly, you can take all the time you want, but I will slow down, to kind of review what is in your proposal.
Yes. Board members, you might remember, I don't remember if it was last meeting or prior to that, when we talked about our strategic plan and some of the goals we had outlined specifically for tackling some of those areas of focus. One of the things we wanted to do was to eliminate the $1 replacement fee for lost and stolen library cards. So in order to do that, we need to change our circulation policy because that does call out the replacement fee in this policy specifically. We did also check our other policies to see if it was noted anywhere else. It was just in this one. So I had a memo there, and then also a red line version of the circulation policy showing you the changes. We did also go through this policy to look for any other changes that we might want to make, and really the only things that we found were some small grammar and formatting changes through the rest of the policy. Any questions from the board?
Quick question.
Absolutely.
Chair and Jenna, on the circulation limits, section 4, so with special item, is the reason that we took out the parentheticals, is that because special item is defined somewhere else in some other part of the policies and procedures? Is that why that was taken out?
In a lot of our policies, sometimes it's better to not be so specific about what those special items are. And so by taking out iPads, which actually we don't have anymore, children's tablets, state park passes, which we do have, Ozbots, which we do have, mobile hotspots, it just means that anytime we make a change to our collection, we don't have to update this policy again and again. So that's why we're making that change there.
Great, thank you.
Are there any other questions for Jenna? Okay, I make a motion to approve of the changes and the red line items that we see in this policy.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any additional comments or questions?
Jenna, last question.
Yep.
How frequent, do we have a number at all? And maybe I missed it in the book.
You're wondering how often are we charging this? In 2025, there were 77 incidences of people being charged $1 for a replacement library card. So we're not raking in the dollar bills on this. And ultimately, it's causing a bad customer service experience at the desk. And so we didn't want this to be a barrier for somebody using the library or feeling like, oh, I lost my library card, now I can't come back. certainly, when somebody comes in and they don't have their library card, there's other ways we can look you up. If you have an ID with you, we can use that to look you up in our system. And even if you didn't have that, we're going to ask you a number of questions, like your address, your birthday, things like that, to make sure that we have the right person in front of us. So we don't anticipate that folks are going to be abusing this and getting a new library card every time that they're coming in. So this shouldn't be a problem.
Got it. Thank you.
Good. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we have quarter one strategic plan goals update.
So I have a little graphic here just as a reminder of the what our strategic plan entails. Compassion, growth and learning, community and connection, and then within that, our areas of focus for each of those areas includes access to the library, representative services, lifelong learning, growth of the library, fostering social connections, and community partnerships. So just an update on progress on our defined goals. And we're only in quarter one, but we have done a few things so far. So one of our goals was to increase library card signups 15% by 2028. So that's an annual goal of 5%. While we are down slightly from quarter one of last year, we are optimistic about the remainder of the year. We're planning on targeting new users with our Library on Wheels this summer. And we're planning a campaign to push Library Card Sign-Up Month in September with a library card design contest. This has been really popular in other libraries, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens with that. Also, very excited to hear from West Fargo Public Schools that they, we just heard this yesterday, they are planning to expand student cards to all grades for the 26-27 school year. So previously, it was just upper elementary through high school. It's going to be kindergarten through high school, where guardians and parents can opt their students in to use that student ID number as a library card number to have access to materials from our library system. Very exciting. Another one of our goals was to increase usage of e-resources by 15% by 2028. So again, a 5% increase annually. We've been focusing specifically on the databases that we purchase on our own, wanting to make sure we're getting the most bang for our buck on those resources. And the reason why our library is purchasing those and having those separate contracts is because we know that those are important to our residents, and our statistics show that too. So Consumer Reports has had really high statistics, and so has Udemy. Udemy is a database which gives you access to online learning. So you can take classes to teach you technology, a lot of like career development courses, but there's also a lot of hobby courses you can take on there as well. You might see ads online for things like MasterClass or some of these other programs. Udemy is very similar. There's courses taught by college professors on there, as well as industry professionals. So HR, technology, all manner of things are available on Udemy. Communications has an ongoing public awareness campaign and new featured resources section on our website homepage as well. And we've been doing some increased training for our circulation staff. Those are our frontline folks that have the most interaction with the public, so that they can be better promoting and helping patrons understand how to use the databases or what might serve their needs when they're coming into the library looking for different things. At our satellite here at City Hall, we also want to increase usage by 15%. So that means we're looking for an average of around 381 visits per month and 562 circulated items. Our visits are on track, and we've got lots of meeting room usage and lots of folks using the space for quiet reading time and working on their projects as well. We wanted to increase supports for non-English speaking library users and those where English maybe isn't their first language. Our technical services team has updated the catalog for world language materials, so now they can be searched by language. That was an undertaking, but they got it accomplished. Communications is exploring adding some welcome signage in multiple languages, with some help from the schools to identify what the most common languages are spoken in our community in the area. Here's an image from our shelves now. You can see some of the world language stickers that have been added to the spines of our books. The technical services team has added these so that they're easy to identify on the shelf. So this is Harry Potter in Spanish. So for folks that are looking for that as they're browsing the shelves, it's easier to identify and you can pull those off at a glance. We're also working to improve the City of West Fargo staff's understanding of library services. We continue to collaborate with HR and city communications to include information in the staff newsletters that go to all city staff, the internet, and to present library cards as a benefit to new city staff. I actually just had a meeting today with the new city HR director, and this is one of the things that we talked about, some of the different ways that we can be promoting the library as a benefit to all of the city staff. We also have staff participating in City of West Fargo groups, such as the Employee Engagement Committee. And Adult Services is looking at exploring starting a City of West Fargo employee book club. Of course, we're continuing to work towards securing a new library location. I'm involved in some ongoing discussions with potential facility partners and community members. The PLA, that's the Public Library Association conference that I and several of our staff members just attended, was a really great resource for connections with designers and architects and other library directors who have gone through similar processes and recent builds. I also attended a session on capital campaign strategies as well. Another one of our goals was to improve circulation services by removing that $1 replacement card fee. Check. So we'll be implementing that shortly. We wanted to consider expansion of the Library of Things collection. So a Library of Things are the things that are not your normal library items like books or a book on CD, DVDs, but other items that would be useful to a community that could be borrowed from a library. Some libraries have prom dresses or cake pans, electronic equipment, all manner of different things. And so there are ongoing discussions with our staff, especially during this budget process, about what would be most useful to our community based on feedback that we've gotten at the desk. Improved meeting room and study space options and procedures. We did simplify the meeting room reservation process at the satellite here in particular, especially due to the lack of table space in the satellite. But we have started keeping a tally of people that are using the study rooms there again. So we're keeping better track of the use of those meeting rooms. And of course, continuing to work with West Fargo Public Schools to support students in the summer. We're planning Library on Wheels stops in West Fargo parks. Those stops are going to be announced during National Library Week, which is coming up. That is April 19th through the 25th. And we also got approval to use the gym and the Ladone Center again for some of our summer programs this year. That significantly increases our capacity to serve large groups of children. We're expanding teen programs to include more social connection opportunities. This is coming directly from feedback from our teens. That's what they're saying they're coming to our programs for. And so we're trying to be very responsive to that. So an update on that, Teen Dungeons and Dragons will be continuing this summer. That's been very popular, and that's what they're asking for, so we will be continuing that. A new weekly teen program this summer, which will be casually structured and encourage connection, will be happening as well. Some other things that we've taken action on supporting our core values and areas of focus include adjusting the satellite hours that we did in January. Polaris, that is our main software that we use to check materials in and out and keep track of our collection, was updated in February with improvements for both patrons and staff. We're engaging with Freedom Resource Center in some accessibility discussions for our physical space, but also our digital access and our programs. Technology tutoring is back with some additional times. We've added a Libby tip on the website, and there's a frequently asked questions campaign on social media as well. Tax document support for patrons is available at the service desk. We can't answer all of your tax questions, but we can help you get the forms that you need and help you get to people that will help you with taxes. Middle school reading challenges, we get questions from West Fargo Public Schools staff frequently to help support them with reading challenges, and we've had great success when partnering with them with that. And we are in the midst of second grade tours. It's so fun to see those all the time, but they certainly keep us busy. And we are also working on planning some senior social hour events for this summer as well, and that's coming out of some conversations and requests with our patrons. Any questions on any of those?
Thanks for the update. I appreciate it. Are there any questions for Jenna? Sounds like we're coming along with our strategic plan, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, last on our agenda, we do have our director's report.
All right, with our finances expended to date, we are about 18% expended. That's about where we would expect to be at this point in the year. As far as our budget timeline, I'm sure you noted I don't have a preliminary draft available for you in this board meeting. We're still working on getting some of those numbers from the city. I just had a few rolling in this afternoon. I plan to set up individual meetings with board members. as soon as possible with a draft of the preliminary budget for you, because we really should get that passed in May. So end of April here in, before our next board meeting, we will have a preliminary draft for you to look at, and we'll sit down together and answer all of your questions about that. And then I would like to try to get that passed in May. And then get that passed off to the commission in June, which is when they plan to look at the first draft of the city preliminary draft. So still trying to stick to the same timeline that we had discussed at our last meeting. For our statistics, looking at the satellite, physical circulation, 552, and door count, you might remember for my last presentation, that's right where we want to be for hitting our targets to be increasing by 5% for the year, if not up just a little bit, so that's wonderful. Our main library, physical circulation was over 12,000, and door count getting close to 6,000. Total circulation, as you can see our green line there, we are well above where we were at this point last year. And electronic circulation is very high. And probably will remain very high. We continue to get lots of questions from the community following the changes in neighboring library systems about their boundaries, about who can have what card. And so we are getting a lot of renewals for people that specifically just want to use electronic resources.
And it doesn't look like when we discontinued Hoopla, it didn't make an impact.
No negative effect
Good.
there. Yep. Meeting room usage is way up. We broke a record again for hours reserved, and that doesn't include satellite usage. So that's bananas. As we think about new libraries, library in the future, meeting room usage is huge for our community. We've been seeing in particular tons of homeschooling groups recently using our meeting rooms. So like we mentioned earlier, library card signups were a little less than March of last year, but we are still having quite a number of those as well.
Jenna, quick question on that. Year over year, why is it so steady, 200 every year? Any idea why that is? Have you ever thought about that? I'm just curious, because the other ones year over year are very steadily increasing as well. Is it just because, can you just chalk it up to community growth and you're advertising more, so you're getting consistent year over year? It's just like so consistently year over year.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I know.
We'll dig into that a little
Okay,
bit.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But then in 2025, there was that little jump.
A little jump.
Staffing update. With the change in our org chart that we made, at our last meeting, we had the youth librarian position. And so that is open and it is closing on the 12th. And our summer interns, those positions are open and that will be closing on the 12th as well. And we are excited to have a new library assistant starting. This was a job that had opened because somebody had left for a different position, and then we had an opening. And Caitlin had previously been a summer intern for us twice and has now joined our staff in a permanent position. So that's a great success story. Yeah.
Retention.
Yes. Start them young.
For youth and family programs, like I said, we're doing those second grade tours. They started in March. We've had 20 classes come through the library so far. Our story time numbers continue to rise. We frequently have had 60-plus people here for the baby story time. 89 people came for spring break events where they made homemade fidgets and played with Legos. And the March Madness Reading Challenge went really well. Around 250 people participated this year. That was fantastic. It's really kind of fun after the second graders leave the library because there's just so much to put away. But it means that they really explored the library to see what we had to offer. Many of them check books out, and so then when families come later in the afternoon and they're looking for a particular series, I often don't even have to look it up. I know that everything in that series is gone because the classes have been through. For adult programs, adult services is now fully staffed. That's so exciting. Our seed library is back. This is very popular, lots of positive comments from that. So we have donated seed packets, and we have those available in front of the service desk. People can just rifle through and choose what they would like. Monday matinees here continue to be well attended. Our last couple have been over the threshold where we would have had to kick people out from the main library. So it's nice to know that that doesn't need to happen here. Dungeons and Dragons had a full house last week, and they look forward to continuing to offer Dungeons and Dragons programs for adults in the future when this program wraps up in May. And like I mentioned earlier, technology tutoring is back with additional time slots available to meet this need for our community. Here's a picture from the Public Library Association conference in Minneapolis. This wasn't all of the library workers from North Dakota that went, but a good chunk of them from across the state. We had 5 West Fargo Public Library staff members that got to attend this national conference. It was really wonderful to have a national conference be so close to us. I can tell you it's the best conference I've ever attended. So thank you for supporting us and letting us go to that. There were lots of really wonderful takeaways for all of us. I can't wait to sit down and really spend some time debriefing with those that went and how we're going to implement some of the things that we learned. Also very excited to let you know that we were awarded a Library Vision Grant from the State Library in the amount of $9,675 to cover expenses related to staff training and assessments to do Clifton Strengths Finder for our whole staff. So we'll be doing that at our April staff day, and another training again in the fall, and then some additional things through the rest of the year as well. So we're excited to be embracing that as a whole organization and just have that really positive, strengths-based training for our staff. Any questions?
Thank Thank you. Thank you. Great update. Any questions for Jenna? Okay, thank you. We have come down to the end of our meeting. I make a motion to be done.
Move to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.